It tastes like heaven.
Wow. Today we are making a classic British dessert that is so easy, even a kid can make it.
With adult supervision, of course.
A while back, we were trying some treats from the UK, and there was a rhubarb and custard bonbon. In the comments, we learned that this is one of the most popular British desserts. So today, we are trying a very basic recipe for rhubarb and custard. All you need for this is 1 saucepan, 1 can of custard. You can make homemade custard, but today we're just gonna start with a can of custard. We have Ambrosia Devon custard, creamy and delicious. And obviously rhubarb, sugar, water, and because it's summer, we are going to be adding a little bit of lime juice in when we are stewing the rhubarb. So first things first, we are going to be cutting up the rhubarb. The leaves of rhubarb are highly toxic. So it's very important that you make sure that there are no traces of leaves when you are putting this in a pot to stew. So I'm just gonna cut the top and the bottom, and then you're gonna cut it into pieces, put it in this pot, and then we are gonna cook it. Let's learn a little bit about the history of the rhubarb and custard dessert and why rhubarb is so popular. Rhubarb and custard has been a beloved staple in British homes and school dinners since the early 19th century. Brought to Europe from Asia in the 13th century, rhubarb was initially grown as a medicinal drug used to treat gut and liver disorders. In the 1840s, the discovery of forced rhubarb completely transformed it from an expensive medicine into a highly accessible tart fruit. Rhubarb became so popular during the Victorian era that a special train known as the Rhubarb Special was established to transport up to 200 tons of rhubarb to London markets every single day. To counter rhubarb's intense bitterness, Victorians began boiling the stalks with generous amounts of sugar, serving stewed or roasted rhubarb with a thick layer of creamy English custard, which provided a near-perfect contrast to the sharp and sweet. I'm used to rhubarb being more of this reddish color. I did get this from the co-op, and we did just ask our ALEXA, and she said that the color shouldn't matter too much as far as the taste. So fingers crossed, let's hope that that's true. So once the rhubarb is chopped, we're just gonna toss it in this saucepan with a half cup of sugar, a few tablespoons of water, and a little bit of lime juice. We're gonna bring it to a boil, let it stew for 20 minutes, and then come back with the custard. Ready?
You call that a half a cup.
Yeah, it says half a cup on here. See? Half cup.
Okay.
All right, just dump it in. And then just a splash of lime juice.
Oh dear.
I also was wondering too about custard because we don't really use custard as much as they do over in the UK when it comes to our desserts. We've never tried canned custard before, so this will be exciting to try this canned custard for this first time too. We are gonna let this cook and we will be back. 15 minutes later. The rhubarb is stewed, the custard is warm, and now we are going to layer it in a small glass. Why don't you take care of the rhubarb and put a little bit of rhubarb in here, and then I will drizzle on some custard, and we're gonna repeat this until we have the glass full. The rhubarb smells delicious. I remember as a kid, I know I said this in the last video, but we had rhubarb stalks in the backyard, and I used to love just picking some, cutting it up, drizzling some sugar on it, and just eating it like that. It was delicious. All right, we have it assembled, and now it is time to try.
Wait, it's done?
Yeah, this is it. This is the whole dessert.
Oh my god.
So I think we might have stewed the rhubarb more than normal, but let's see how it tastes, huh? Mmm. It honestly tastes just like the inside of a rhubarb pie without the strawberry. What do you think?
It tastes like heaven.
We're gonna try 2 extra things just to add a little texture to this. I got these Belgian waffle crisps at Aldi's. We're gonna dip it in here. Mmm. Oh. That is really good.
Even just with the custard by itself, it tastes good. Just try to get just the big old custard.
Wow. The canned custard, by the way, super convenient, super delicious. I do want to try and make homemade custard with you, but as we've seen on the baking shows we watch, it's not necessarily easy. It might look easy, but it takes some practice, so we're going to get that down first. What are we giving the rhubarb and custard? I agree. It's simple, it's refreshing. It would even taste good cold, honestly. What's funny about these two, I feel like I'm eating like dip in chips. Like the way that we're using it and like scooping it out like this.
I feel like I'm eating Belgian waffles and custard.
The other thing Ruby wanted to try is we got these crispy coconut wafers.
We ate them all, but we still have some crumbs left.
Yes, we ate them all, but there was all these delicious like coconut crisp crumbs on the bottom. And so we wanted to add a little to it and see what that tastes like. It will definitely give it some awesome texture. We're just gonna drop it in on the top. I did see too, one of the recipes I saw, they layered crumbled cake along with these layers. That looked delicious. Here, I'll mix it in a little bit. All right, ready? Just a little bit of texture it adds to it. What do you think? All the ways I feel like are a 10 out of 10 with this. We are definitely gonna be making this more in the summer. This was by far one of the simplest things we've ever made. If you haven't tried rhubarb and custard, it's so simple, it's so sweet, a little bit of tartness, especially if you like strawberry rhubarb pie. That's a really popular thing over here. Can't say I've ever heard of the rhubarb and custard dessert, but I'm so glad we tried it. If there are suggestions that you have for desserts we need to bake or treats we need to try,
just comment down below.
Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.